What if Toji died versus Gojo during the hidden inventory arc? These two have had fights, and Gojo does end up actually being the person to kill Toji. But what would have happened if he killed Toji during their first battle? During the battle before Rico Amanai dies, and it sets off the course of events that really leads on to everything going on. So let's actually discuss it. The only way that I see Gojo being able to pull out a full on win is, first of all, he would have to be going all out from the beginning. He would have to evolve insanely quickly and insanely fast from the beginning of that fight. You would have to see him being able to pull out Hollow Technique red, blue, and purple during that first fight, and him just having to really go to insane levels of God mode, in all honesty. The only other way that I have to see them even having a chance of Gojo being able to kill Toji is if somehow Geto's even able to get to Gojo almost as soon as the fight starts, before anything happens to Gojo and before Gojo gets injured in any possible way. If those two together are able to actively work together and deal with Toji, that may give them another chance of actively being able to work together enough to actively kill Toji. It would still be a very hard fought fight, and I'm never going to say that it's not, because even with both of them working together, it would be insanely difficult for them to be even able to do anything. They would be working against him using the inverted spear of heaven, and him being able to not even having any curse energy, so Gojo can't sense him in the first place. So Gojo's going to have to be sensing the curse spirits that he's actually holding around him. And so that's the only way that Gojo's going to be able to do anything. But obviously, it's still so damn fast that Gojo's going to have the hard time struggling anyways. But if the both of them aren't even able to work together, or Gojo's actually able to just evolve right there and then in their first fight, that's the only way that they're even able to possibly miraculously pull off that win. And so if they do end up pulling off that win with them just both working in almost perfect unison, working in almost pristine unison, honestly. They already are perfect working together because they already are obviously best friends and they are used to having to work together and working alongside each other. It works perfectly well for them. So they would easily be able to do a lot of things that would help them out so dramatically much. As once Toji's dead, that really changes the course of the story in so many ways, for the reason that Rico Amanai doesn't die. If Rico doesn't die, that changes the story so much, for the main reason of it ending up with Geto most likely never actually going dark and leading down the path that he goes down in canon. He never kills anybody. He never goes down this dark path, and he never just really gets broken the way that he does. Gojo's fine, Rico's fine, and nothing really happens that pushes him over the breaking point, that pushes him over the edge to the way that he would be in canon. That specific reasoning really helps him out so much, because that just changes the story in a very, very high esteem. Especially once they're able to go back to Rico and they can actually like finish the conversation that they were having, with Rico going on and saying that she doesn't want to do this and she just wants to like live a normal life with her friends. Gojo and Ghetto would easily be able to say, yeah, that's completely fine. We'll protect you, and like they'll do whatever needs to be done. They have no problems, they have no qualms with this, because why would they? Ghetto is already saying that that's exactly would be her choice anyways, so none of that's going to change. But due to the fact of her surviving and them obviously refusing an order, it would cause a lot of trouble with them in the long run, due to the fact of how everything would be working. But since they had already agreed to take her in if she became like an enemy to humanity and everything else like that, they would. They would deal with the consequences, and due to the fact that it is both Gojo and Geto agreeing to this, there wouldn't be anything really much that the higher ups could do. And in all fairness, even if the higher ups wanted to really say anything and really try doing anything against them, there's no way to really stop both of them if they're working together. Gojo alone, after his upgrade, is insanely already one of the strongest people there. He's always been one of the strongest sorcerers. So him and Geto being able to work together, with Geto never falling to the opposite side and going to the opposition, it changes things because now these two are working in perfect unison, being able to protect this girl. So there's nothing that any of the higher ups can do. And obviously that's going to get them extremely pissed, but they can't do anything. Time would most likely go along, and we would obviously get to the point where Yuta gets involved and things like that. But most of those events go way so much smoother because, one, any things like that would happen with like Yuta getting in any kind of trouble from like Kenjaku isn't going to happen because it just wouldn't. There's no possibility of Geto coming around to deal with Yuta in any of those situations. So most of that doesn't even end up happening. Obviously, Yuji's storyline would probably still end up happening, but the only main difference there would be Geto being around and actively being able to teach and train Yuji up. Because, as again, if they're both vouching that, saying that Yuji's most likely gonna be surviving, and both of them being there, Gojo's still gonna probably want Yuji to survive anyway. So that really just works extremely well. And the more that the higher ups started knowing Gojo, the more that eventually the higher ups are probably gonna end up getting killed by both Gojo and Suguru in the end, anyways. But Yuji's events would mostly go the same until maybe we get to when he has to pretend dead and play dead, specifically due to the fact of it would be both of them being able to kind of just switch between who's giving him advice and teaching him anything, because they could probably be able to get away with that. And there's no chance that Gojo doesn't tell Suguru what's going on with Yuji, since they both would probably agree on having him actively come in. They most likely would have some of the same views anyways, but at a point, those two would probably start getting annoyed over the higher ups nonsense and probably just get rid of almost all of the higher ups anyways. It would end up actually happening strictly because the higher ups always are going to have like some kind of aim for Rico anyways. So that specific fact is going to really just start annoying them to an extreme extent. So they always have had to protect Rico ever since those events. And as time goes along and things start happening, they really just start understanding and really realizing how much the higher ups aren't really doing anything anymore. They're always just kind of stuck in this status quo and never actively caring about the actual circumstances. They don't bother changing, and these guys like always have like different views and viewpoints to what the higher ups are thinking, so they always kind of get more pissed off with the higher ups in any situation whatsoever. They've always gotten annoyed with them, and they've always started to understand that these guys are just something that you really don't want to be dealing with. With Rico surviving, obviously it changes the entire story with revolving them and like the time, like that time association probably is going to keep trying to deal with that, because obviously just having the Rigo alive specifically would cause, not really cause problems for them, but would just be something that they probably wouldn't like. So they probably would eventually keep sending assassins towards her anyways. But Gojo and Suguru, both of them easily being able to deal with that. I don't see a possibility in a world where they don't be able to deal with that. So all of that fairly simple. But tell me what you guys did think about this scenario, because this is where I'm going to be ending off the scenario at. If you guys did like the scenario and liked this what if, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell and everything else like that. You know, yada, yada, yada. The thing that every YouTuber always says. Comment down any video ideas and video suggestions, and comment down what you guys think about this video. And obviously, just to give me ideas, give me content, and like just want to maybe go down and talk. Discord links in the description below, and I will see y'all guys in the next video. Peace.